So I have something pretty cool planned for today's video. We're actually going to be unboxing a gift from a friend named Wayne all the way out in the UK, who's also a viewer of the channel. He reached out and said, hey, I have something here that I'd like for you to keep. And he sent it out to us. So I just got it in the mail a couple of days ago, so we're gonna unbox it together. So here's the package. Crossed out some of my deets, obviously, but I wanted to show you some of the postage stamping because it's super funny, because literally a picture of the Queen here on like this little sticker here off to the right, which is just super hilarious because there's definitely no queens as far as postal stamping goes in the US. This says Royal Mail. There's nothing royal about the United States Postal Service. So just funny kind of like little, you know, quirky things about getting mail from the UK. Oh, whoa, whoa. Oh, dude, it's like a, what is this, a guide? Oh, what is this? This is a, dude, this is so crazy. Oh my gosh, dude, look at the, oh, this is so cool, man. This is so rad. So here's the front cover. The first couple of pages are sort of like a little bit of backstory on like the Honda company and sort of where they started. So cool, man. Like this is original advertising for the NSX. This is the Targa T. Look at that, the T for Targa. So cool, man. So cool. So that's the concept. Yep, concept drawings. Look at how sick that is, dude. The concept drawings, man. So sick. So before I keep going, one thing you need to know about me is that I'm like, okay, so how do I even start this? I'm such a nerd for like the old school like concept drawings, you know, like old school imagery of like, I love, dude, like vintage styled photos of like old cars. It's just the coolest thing to me. And that's all this book is. That's the F1 cockpit that everyone kind of talks about. Like there's reviews and stuff everywhere online that kind of talk about this exact imagery right here on how the S from like an interior standpoint was designed to feel like an F1 fighter jet, and this is like kind of where the design concept came from. So rad. Look, that looks like the AP1. This is so gnarly. So one of like the big gnarly things about concepts is that production vehicles never quite look like the concept, right? But this does. And so one of the cool things about the S is that the concept car looked almost identical to the production car, which never happens. Like that never happens because concept cars are used to test really outrageous and like extreme ideas. The concept model versus the production model really don't look that different. So it's just so cool, man. So cool because the S, its body lines, even in 2021, which is when you're watching this video, with a couple of like little tweaks, it can look like a really modern car. And it's so crazy, man. Like see, like again, more concept drawings that looked exactly like the production version, which is so cool. So cool, man. This is literally the coolest thing I've ever seen. Dude, wind tunnel testing, that's so sick, man. That is so rad. Check that out. Dude, so sick. Suspension geometry diagrams, the chassis and what it looks like when the suspension is fully mounted. Some production imagery, people actually putting the chassis together. So here it looks like they're welding the frame together, painting it down here. Dude, this is so amazing. This is literally so amazing. These are some of the original accessories that were offered for the S from factory. So you have the OEM lip for the AP1 model. You have like the duckbill spoiler. Dude, the hardtop. Who would have known, man? Literally, who would have known? So cool, man. Look at like the diagrams here, like the color options for the S. Special parts for the S2000, hardtop. Colored selection diagram at the bottom. Super cool to see original ads for OEM parts, which today are insane, man. OEM parts for S2000s today are absolutely blown up in price. The roof, the hardtop roof that you saw in the last photo, today costs $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 for a really nice one, which is just so crazy, man, because a couple of years ago, that's what you would have paid for a whole AP1, like an early model with higher miles. And the roof today in 2021 costs that much. It was just so insane, man. So insane. Whoa, dude, so sick. There's even mention of Spoon Sports in here. I mean, how can you leave that out, right? But geez, that's so cool, man. That's so sick, man, because Spoon really is one of the OG tuners for any Honda sports model. So it's cool that you almost can't write a book like this without mentioning Spoon, because some of their parts today, even in 2021, are still some of the best parts on the market for the S. So here's something cool if you're watching this in the US. S2000 Type V, the VGS model, was actually only available in Japan and maybe in Europe as well, but we never got it in the States. So a quick thing about this car, this is an early model AP1, and these headlights were only available in pretty much every country besides the US. So these have like a chrome housing and they have like a clear lens here in the corner. And they never made it here because the US has regulations that say that corner lights, little reflector lamps, have to be orange from the factory, and they can't sell anything else besides that. So it's funny because a lot of guys here really look for these, and these are super cool to see on cars because they were never offered. And I also heard that a lot of JDM guys in Japan are looking for the opposite version of these headlights, which are right here. So there are Japanese guys that want the orange lights, and there are US guys that want the clear lights. So that to me is super funny. Oh, dude, this photo, man, this photo gets me right here, man. This photo is so special to me. This is an exact like image of my first S2000 that I bought when I was like 19 years old. I was so happy about it, man. I was like 19, just so juiced on the purchase. It was my first real car, right, that I was able to buy, and I just put all my pennies together and I went and grabbed it. So cool, man. That car was just like my first love, and there's nothing you can do to like replace it, you know what I mean? It's like that car has like such a special place in my heart. My current car, my 07, which is a Grand Prix white car, is a car that I've learned to love over time. But there's just nothing like your first love, you know what I mean? One of my best friends, who I'm still friends with today, went with me to go grab it because I couldn't drive stick. I didn't know. I had no idea how to like manipulate the shifter, how to do the pedal thing. So I didn't know, so I went and bought a car that I couldn't drive, and my friend drove it back for me. So shout out to you, Tony, if you're watching this, dude, because that was such a special like just time in my life, and it was so cool. Okay, so a super funny story about this image right here. A couple of weeks after buying it, a hardtop came up for sale. A hardtop that matched the exact color of my car, so it was like a no-brainer. I was like, cool, I have to shoot up to buy it. It popped up in LA. I'm in San Diego, so I was like, cool, 2 quick hours. Gotta run up, run down, make it happen. Here's a better look at like what I was buying, right? This is the roof as it kind of comes off of the car. And that wouldn't have been a problem if I hadn't just replaced the convertible top on my car. The car that I bought came with holes in the roof. It literally came with holes in the roof, and my girlfriend at the time bought me a brand new convertible top. And those are expensive, man. Those are like $700-800. They're really expensive. I was blown away. At that point, nobody had ever spent that much money on a gift for me, and I was just like, oh, whoa, someone did that for me? So I did it. I replaced the roof, and the car was cherry. I mean, it was good to go. But when that hardtop popped up for sale, I was like, dude, I need to buy it. It was in my plans from the get. And so I went and I bought it. And I'm not joking, I had never been in more trouble in my whole life. My girlfriend at the time was like, what are you like, how could you go buy something to cover up the gift that I spent all my money and time to get you? Like, how could you do that? And I should have gotten dumped, dude, but I didn't. Oh man, so funny. Just a super funny memory, because that was in super hot water, man. Like, I do not want to go back there anytime soon. But so anyway, super cool to see this exact image. A lot of nostalgia associated with this guy right here. Oh, this is pretty cool. This guy was a special edition of the S that was only available in a couple of countries, but not in the US. Came in like a purple kind of maroon color with tan interior and like diamond stitching. Yeah, see, here's like a better look at it. Kind of like a peanut butter themed interior almost. The steering wheel is different. Here are the seats with that diamond stitching I mentioned a second ago. Oh, cool. Super rad. So here's like a full Mugen kitted car. It's got the front bumper, the wing, the roof, the hood. This is the rear end. That looks so cool, man. This thing is super cherry. Love the livery on it too. Super rad. So this version of the interior on the S, I think is called Saddle Brown. And these seats were only available in European and Japanese models. So this was like a premium like interior option. It was super cool, never available in the US, but this one looks super cool. It's so funny to think that this came on blue cars. Like, think about a blue car with tan interior. It's just so premium, super cool. Cars and trucks offered by the Honda company in 2006. S2000 obviously. Is that an Odyssey? Like a minivan? Is that a Pilot? I'm not really too keen on trucks. Super cool. The Ridgeline, I'm pretty sure. And like whatever this was. Ooh, red, man. I love red cars. I actually have never been a fan of red cars. I think they pop a little bit too much, but this car actually looks really good. And I used to own a red car. Super cool story. Flew up to San Francisco on some random stuff and kind of just bought one year, and it was a super fun drive, man. Oh, dude, so cool, man. This book is so sick, dude. This is literally, I want you to know that, like, oh, dude. I have to say thank you again to Wayne, man. If you're watching this, dude, I want you to know that, like, I legitimately stop what I'm doing to search for, like, vintage, like, imagery and, like, brochure photos and, like, catalog shots of stuff like this, because it's just so cool, man. It's just so cool to see like what was popping at the time and kind of like how that's changed and stuff. So having a whole book on it is so cool. some official imagery of the Club Racer model. So Club Racer, as you know, was a slightly more aggressive version of the S, which is super interesting because in the US, we generally never get the best of the best, but in terms of the most competitive, the most aggressive version of the S2000 that's ever existed, the Club Racer was only fitted for North America, I'm pretty sure. So the CR actually never made it to Japan. They got a Type S model, which had a roof and wasn't as light as the Club Racer, but the Club Racer was the gnarliest version of the S that you could buy, and it was for the US. So sick, man. Check that out. That is so rad. Oh, cool. Check this out. This is kind of interesting. This is like the official weight distribution of the S, which is pretty crazy. This is almost a perfect 50-50 weight distribution, front and rear. So it says 51% in the back, 49% in the rear. That is amazing, man. That is crazy, crazy engineering. So this, if I'm not mistaken, is every color that was offered for the S, but this might be limited to certain markets because I think there were other colors that didn't make it on this list. If I ever have the chance to fully respray my car, I want you to know, I'm saying in this video right now, I'm painting it platinum white pearl. This color we never got in the US, but this is such a cool color, man. Pearl colors in the sun are just something else. Like super premium, super luxury. I love this thing. Some Type S imagery right here as well. So cool. The seats here, super, super cool. Oh, so cool. Okay, so this is the S2000 Modulo concept, and Modulo is basically the accessories division of the Honda company, and Modulo basically put together a concept for what like a really futuristic rendering of what the S2000 could be. This was an actual car that had actual parts on it, and I think the idea behind this campaign was pretty much to put together an idea for what new parts for the car could look like in order to keep it relevant. But I don't think this ever made it to production, so these were actually never released. So who knows where this car is, man. But it's got like an updated interior. The front face obviously is way more aggressive. It's got sharper lines that kind of coincide with like more modern design concepts. But this was a super cool car that should have been, but wasn't. Dude, what a cool book, man. This thing is so rad. Dang, dude, literally anything and everything that you want to see about the S is in this book. It's like the ultimate collection of all the cool brochure stuff, the OEM like manual stuff, like the official literature stuff, like all of it is in this book. That's so amazing, man. What a cool gift to receive from someone. Thank you, Wayne. If you're watching this, man, thank you. Seriously. Wayne also has a Facebook page where he posts a lot of stuff related to his build, so that's on Facebook, and I'm gonna leave a link to it somewhere in the description, so definitely check that out if you get a chance. So I think that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you for checking this out. Wayne, thank you again for sending that out, man. It's such a cool gift. I like words can't explain how thankful I am for that type of thing. So anyway, cool. Catch you in the next one.